Hello everyone and welcome to the first day of the KDL Preseason 2 postseason. I'm State, joined with me is Peter, and today we have the upper and lower bracket finals of the KDL. How you doing, Peter?
I am doing great, State. Thanks for asking. It's always exciting to show up to KDL, but today is even more special, as you said, State, because we finally begin our postseason.
Yeah, we've wrapped up the round-robin format. 8 teams have fought long and hard over the past couple of weeks, but now only 4 teams survive, and one of those teams will be booking a ticket to the grand finals. One of those teams will be eliminated today as we're getting our journey started here in the postseason. I couldn't be more excited because we've had some interesting results so far here in the KDL Preseason 2. Some new teams catching life as we get a quick overview of the team match main stage. We are now in the postseason part of this format, so we're going to be starting with the lower bracket semifinals today. Of course, the losing team of that semifinals will be eliminated from the tournament. The winning team will advance to the final qualifying match for the grand finals, and then, Peter, the upper bracket finals.
As you said, State, semifinals, there's a lot of pressure because that 4th team is out of contention, while in the upper bracket, you still have a second chance the next day. And as we take a look at the standings of the main stage so far, of course, it was Seongnam Rocks coming in first above Live Sandbox due to their round differentials. And then KWANGDONGFREECS and Sensation, same story there. They're 4-3 in set scores, but the round wins gave KWANGDONGFREECS that 3rd place spot.
Yeah, Seongnam Rocks being the first seed here against Live Sandbox is probably not something that a lot of fans predicted after KDL Preseason 1. Rocks esports, while they looked very good in KDL Preseason 1, they did seem to have some holes in their play. I mean, it was time and time again that they had to rely on Jung, their ace, to win in the ace match because they struggled so much in item mode over the course of the entire preseason. But here in KDL Preseason 2, especially with the addition of Ding, and just the rising skill of the team as a whole, they have been able to solidify their position not just in speed and not just with ace matches, but also in item as one of the best pro teams to play in item mode. And as a result, here we are now in the postseason. Rocks Esports is the #1 seed, and the reigning champions, the Freaks, they're all the way down in the lower bracket.
Yeah, and that's why we have this race history here between KWANGDONGFREECS and Sensation. That is going to be our first matchup today. And on that match 24 of July 9th, it went down all the way to an ace match. In speed, Sensation won, and an item, that's where KWANGDONGFREECS had a 3-1 of their own, and then Hojin with the heroic finish for Sensation.
Yeah. As we have a quick recap of that, perfect timing as always, Peter. This is Hojin versus Sungbin in that ace match. As Hojin just barely won this one by a hair on Glacier Extreme Stadium to deliver Sensation the win. And I mean, it was a hard-fought battle, and I gotta say, over the course of this entire KDL Preseason 2, in addition to the rise of Rocks Esports as the #1 seed team coming into the postseason, the story of Hojin, the Emperor from the original Kart Rider, regaining his form here in the KDL has really been one of my major takeaways.
Yeah, you look at that play right there from Hojin. It was so sick, and that's what allowed him to come in first, because in the end, Sungbin tried to come back, but because Hojin was able to buy so much time with his phenomenal lines, that's what gave him the edge that we keep seeing Hojin have this preseason too. He keeps coming in the top ranks.
Yeah, we've seen this not just in ace matches, but also in the team speed matches overall, because, Hojin, he's #2 in the team rankings when it comes to individual play, and that means that, he's finishing ahead of basically everybody in every single lobby. He's a critical part of why Sensation is winning most of their speed matches. They have one of the best speed records in the KDL coming into today, as well as the Freaks, which is no surprise considering they are here in the postseason. But, Hojin, a lot of people in KDL Preseason 1, they were wondering exactly where he's going to be here in Preseason 2. Is he done? Is it going to be too hard for him to really come out of the break that he took from Kart Rider? But that's not where he's at right now. He's looking to be a true speed ace.
Exactly. That's what allowed his team Sensation to become the 4th place spot from our main stage as we take a look at the results. Of course, we saw KWANGDONGFREECS. They took a lot of ace match losses as of recent that made them fall to 3rd place. Whereas for Sensation, it feels like their performance overall, it was kind of like a mixed bag of wins and losses, but in the end, they were able to have enough wins to stand over Aura in the standings.
Yeah, Sensation has been solid pretty much from start to finish, and you could really see it in the set differential, which is, of course, I think the tie-breaking factor here with them seating above the Freaks, in fact, is looking at the point of the range in team speed. Desert Construction Chaos probably going to be an important map that I'm sure we're going to see here in the best of 7 format of the postseason. Both teams undefeated so far on that track.
Absolutely. It's going to be a first pick worthy track, as you put it, State. And of course, Mine 3 shortcuts is another one that we have to talk about because a perfect win has been achieved by Guangdong Freaks, and that is not an easy feat.
No, not at all, but you know, it's another map that Sensation is very good on, although Kwangdong Freaks, they love to first pick Mine 3 shortcuts. Sensation, as of yet, undefeated, 3-0, one of the best teams here in the KDL preseason on 3 shortcuts. And Glacier Extreme Stadium, it's very much the same story. You know, the Freaks, they're 4-1, which is a fantastic record, and although Sensation and the team matches haven't been able to deliver, 0-2 overall on that track, they did beat the Freaks in the ace match.
Absolutely. As we take a look at those ace matches you just mentioned, State, it was Hojin winning against Sungbin in that match 24 of the main stage. And Guangdong Freaks overall, they have quite a lot of losses in their bags for preseason 2, coming in at a 40% win rate in total, while Sensation, out of the 4 matches they played, they won twice and lost twice.
Yeah, the ace match victories have been elusive here for the Freaks. I'm surprised that they're all the way down at 40%. As you know, I think of the Freaks as just being a team that's basically star-studded. They could send out any single player on their roster, and they can contest with the best and the best in any kind of ace match. But as it is, in fact, 2-3 overall in KDL Preseason 2, it's kind of been their Achilles heel.
Yeah, as you put it, it's really surprising given that this team, they're so confident in their roster that they're able to maintain a 4-man roster, and our viewers as well putting a lot of faith in that 4-man roster that did wonders in preseason 1. It's got to be the defending champion buff.
Yeah, almost 2/3 of fans here in Korea choosing Kwangdong Freaks over Team Sensation. In fact, a lot of the pro teams as well, or a potential ROX Esports and Seraphic, all choosing the Freaks to take either a 2-0 win or an ace match win. Only Live Sandbox and Showtime standing behind Sensation. Now, I got to ask you, Peter, how do you feel about this one? Who do you think is going to win and take it?
I see Live Sandbox there going for Sensation, and I feel like Live Sandbox is up to something. They know some secret stuff, so I'm going with Sensation on this one.
Well, I actually have the exact same view. Yeah, Sensation. I think that they're going to probably be able to take this one, maybe in an ace match. Maybe we'll see Hojin come out, as I think we have a preview ready of the upcoming match here between ROX Esports as well. We'll see if we have that one coming. But yeah, it's going to be a really exciting day here. Yeah, Sungnam ROX versus Live Sandbox. Of course, going to be main stage match 25. This race history, Live Sandbox barely winning out, going the distance, speed and item, 3-2 in each of those.
Absolutely. If a single match was turned around there in either speed or item in favor of ROX, we could have had an ace match, and those ace matches are always what kind of just completely throws all the variance in the air, because that one win determines it all. Fortunately, Live Sandbox, they were able to close it out before that happened.
Absolutely, and here we have a recap of one of these matches between Live Sandbox and ROX Esports. Of course, this will be the upper bracket finals that's going to take place after the lower bracket finals earlier today. As you know, Live Sandbox, they have just been so solid overall. The one time they did meet ROX, even coming away with that victory, avoiding, as you said, that ace match, which is oh so dangerous against the ROX Esports team, which in KDL Preseason 1 was able to rely on Jung, who is as of yet still undefeated in ace matches. But even here in KDL Preseason 2, with the addition of Ding, who is not only the #1 speed racer when it comes to team speed, but also has proven to be a reliable ace match pick for them.
Absolutely. Out of the 2 ace matches that he's played, he's won both of them. And one of them was an opponent like Pool from Guangdong Freaks. So absolutely a lot of confidence in the bag here for Sungnam ROX as far as the ace matches go. And I feel like Sungnam ROX, they're kind of just looking at their one loss this season to be just a little choke up. Outside of that, they've had a phenomenal showing, and I'm sure they're not worried going against a giant like Live Sandbox.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to be very nervous, especially considering how clutch they were in the most critical moments of KDL Preseason 1, and even here in KDL Preseason 2 is, you know, Live Sandbox, although they are the only team that has been able to defeat ROX here in Preseason 2, I mean, the wins just speak for themselves, especially there in the ace matches. They have Jung to rely on. They also have Ding, who, as I said, has proved to be a formidable ace match pick. And, I mean, they can just kind of play based on whatever the track is going to be. Their strongest player, and I think they have a good chance of taking this one.
Absolutely. And this is what's surprising about Sungnam ROX as a team, is that in Preseason 1, they've had a great speed compared to their item, but in Preseason 2, that got even better. And then for Team Item, it was kind of looking really bad in Preseason 1. You can see the win rates below 25%, but now in Preseason 2, above 50.
Yeah, the change in the team item meta has really favored ROX Esports. Something about this more aggressive, highly highly attack-based meta gels with them very well. And so here we get a quick look at the item blocks ranking. Actually, Dalda and Byung-Soo for Live Sandbox, the top 2 players there in item blocks overall. Over a third as Live Sandbox actually dominating that leaderboard. 4 players in the top 7, pretty incredible. But ROX Esports, you know, they might not be as good as Live Sandbox historically in the team item matches, but they definitely have improved.
But our viewers are saying historically Live Sandbox is better, so we're going to believe in them again today. And who can blame the fans for that one?
Yeah, I mean, it's a very safe pick here. Even a lot of these pro teams choosing Live Sandbox over ROX Esports. In fact, KWANGDONGFREECS, Aura, and Potential all thinking it's going to go to a 2-0 win. No ace match needed here in this best of 7. And that would surprise me. I don't know exactly who's going to take this one between ROX Esports and Live Sandbox, but I feel like it's probably going to go to an ace match.
Absolutely, and the fans are hoping to see that as well, because a lot of the times you would want your team to win, but it feels so much better when you have that story buildup of going to the ace match. As we're going to take a look at KWANGDONGFREECS first.
Yeah, it's time to introduce the teams that are going to be competing in the lower bracket finals. Now, of course, one of these teams will be eliminated at the end of today. They are fighting for the chance to move on to the last qualifying match before the grand finals, where they will meet the loser of the upper bracket finals that takes place later today. And KWANGDONGFREECS, I mean, with their 4-man roster, World, Spear, Cool, and Sungbin, you know, coming into KDL Preseason 2, they always identified as, you know, World is our ace and the rest of us are runners. But here in KDL Preseason 2, with their increased success at item mode, they've kind of changed that mentality a little bit. They're like, you know what? We're not 3 runners at an ace. We're 3 hybrid players at an ace because we're strong in all aspects of our game.
Meanwhile, Sensation, the opponent of KWANGDONGFREECS today, this is a team that in Preseason 1, many people were disappointed by, because despite having such a good roster, they weren't able to put together results. In Preseason 2 this time, they have made it to the postseason, and Hojin, looking at his best right now, all he really needs from Percent, Guard, and Joker is to be that trustworthy support. Hojin, he's taking that role of the speed ace right now for Sensation. He has such a phenomenal average rank.
Yeah, Hojin's return to form this season has been absolutely phenomenal, and Sensation's going to need to be able to rely on him to continuously deliver those high place finishes and team speed, and also come up with some sneaky plays in team item if they want to emerge victorious here today against the legendary KWANGDONGFREECS, who, as they say, the challenge of the defending champions, postseason breakthrough begins, as they will have to win not only here today, but also in the grand finals should they want to make it a repeat championship performance.
Yep, and as you take a look at the speed average rank overall for the team, it was World having that 4th place holding, while 3 other members, they're kind of just adapting.
We don't lose to opponents we've lost to before. I like that mentality by the Freaks. You know, you can beat us once, but can't beat us twice. We'll see if that rings true today, as a lot of fans, as we saw before, about 2/3 of fans in total expecting the Freaks to emerge victorious from this one, despite Hojin's resurgence here in KDL Preseason 2, and I gotta say, they absolutely are the favorites here.
Yeah, that was a very bold statement from the KWANGDONGFREECS, but as you put it, State, they absolutely own up to that confidence. And as we take a look at Sensation, their opponents, I am sure that they're going to be full of confidence right now as well because of Hojin. He has a 2nd place in the speed average ranking.
And with Hojin's reliable bodyguard, first postseason victory is possible. I like that play on words there. And it really is true, you know, coming into team speed mode especially, they can't rely on just Hojin to carry them to a victory. Percent and Guard especially are going to have to be able to shore up that middle rank and support them to the best of their ability for them to emerge victorious here. And just some nice words coming out of Team Sensation. You know, great work this season. I mean, truly is. Not just for Sensation, but also for the Freaks, you know, getting here to the postseason yet again and trying to start that journey to that grand final.
Absolutely. I feel like being humble in a moment like that is also a great way to show your confidence. So I love the little chit-chat between the 2 teams we had, but now we are moving on to our picks and bans for speed.
And I'm curious what the picks and bans are going to be. Now, it looks like KWANGDONGFREECS do have speed priority here, as that has been their selection.
Right.
Or actually, no, that means that Sensation actually took the item mode priority, if I'm not mistaken, being the higher seed. So very interesting decision here, as KWANGDONGFREECS will have 4 out of the 7 tracks available to pick. Still waiting to hear what the first pick is going to be, as it seems like the team is still to live.
Oh,
It's going to be Construction Chaos. This is the map that, if I'm not mistaken, both these teams are as of yet undefeated on, and you actually called there in the pre-show.
right.
That we'll likely see this as the first pick. Nice one. Well done, Peter.
Thank you, State. Absolutely. It was easy to predict in the sense that this is the track that Guangdong Freaks first picked the most, along with for a Zigzag Timberland. So I wonder what the approach to that from Sensation is going to be, but I feel like as far as the picks go, it's most likely Zigzag Timberland actually for Sensation here. No!
Oh, Singapore Circuit. This is a map that they haven't really picked very often. In fact, they've only played on it once so far. Of course, undefeated on that. KDF went 1-1 this preseason on WKC Singapore Circuit, one of the new tracks that we have here in the KDL. And yeah, I gotta say, the pick so far surprising me a little bit. Singapore Circuit, as we saw, it's something that they haven't really gotten a lot of games on so far, as Glacier Extreme Stadium is going to be ban #1 here from Team Sensation, and I think that's a very good ban. I was actually surprised that the Freaks didn't choose this as their first pick before that the ban could come out on it, because this is a map that, Extreme Stadium, I should say, the Freaks are 4-1 overall so far in this preseason, whereas Sensation, as of yet, 0-2. They haven't been able to get a single win on that track, so a little bit of an interesting choice to opt for Construction Chaos instead of Extreme Stadium. And now, pick number 3 coming through, Peter, it's going to be Village Boom Hill Tunnel.
Village Boom Hill Tunnel is the track that Guangdong Freaks play the most, along with the band Glacier Extreme Stadium. They played it 5 times in total, and they won 3 times, lost twice, as well as the band coming out of Guangdong Freaks on Mine 3 Shortcuts. I do like that band because so far Sensation, they are 3-0 on it.
Yeah, it's their best track, I think, so far here in this preseason, although Sensation, they don't seem to specialize in individual tracks quite as much as the Freaks do. The Freaks absolutely dominant on Construction Chaos and Extreme Stadium, as WKC Japan Circuit comes in as the 4th pick here for Team Sensation. Both teams undefeated on Japan Circuit, but not a very large sample size. For Sensation, just 2 wins out of 2 games, and, for the Freaks, just one map play.
Yeah, and then we're going to see the second band coming out from Sensation. It's going to be for Zigzag Timberland, which is very interesting because this is one of the most played tracks by Sensation. I guess they were putting respect on the fact that when Guangdong Freaks played in Zigzag Timberland, they went 2-0 on it, undefeated as of now.
Yeah, it is a very surprising band, though, considering that it was their first pick in the plurality of their games. 42% of the series that Sensation picked in Team Speed and KDL Preseason 2 was on Zigzag Timberland, but really respecting the skill of KWANGDONG FREECS here, as Mine Mining Slopes is going to be the band for the Freaks, and the pick coming in from KDF as round 5 will be World Tour Terracotta Twister, a track that neither team's really been able to find too much success with.
Yeah, I feel like this is a track that teams tend to not really shy away from because they've played this track so many times. Everyone knows how to play around the tombs, but at the end of the day, when you have players crashing into each other on those sharp turns, that's what create the variances that some teams might want to avoid. However, Guangdong Freaks, they're not scared of it.
Yeah, it can be a little concerning if you're going up against a team because of those collisions, because of those tight inner lines, especially the tomb can come back to bite you. As World Tour New York Rally will be the selection here for Team Sensation in map 6, and an almost instant pick for round number 7 is going to be WKC Brazil Circuit coming out of the Freaks. The coaching staff and players, I suppose, very confident that that's the track they want to play on as the final one. As we have our map selected now, Peter. Very interesting. Who do you give the edge on after this draft? Because I feel like it's a little bit better for the Freaks, but it's hard to say. It feels quite even still.
The fact that Sensation picked World Tour New York Rally when they're 0-3 on it, that does concern me as well, State, making me feel like the edge might be for Guangdong Freaks right now in terms of who might have had a better draft slightly.
Yeah, but it's possible that they have, looked over at the VODs of them competing in those matches, looked at the replays and decided that, this is something that we can improve. We don't have to, continuously underperform on this one. Maybe we'll come through with some new lines, some new builds, and have a better performance, as we're now switching into the item mode draft selection. Guangdong Freaks getting the first pick here will be Mine Magma Cavern. Oh, excuse me, Sensation with the first pick there. Going to be Mine Magma Cavern as track number 1.
Interesting. I thought it would be maybe Glacier Shark's Wake because Sensation played on it 5 times and they picked it quite frequently, but switching it up and Guangdong Freaks gonna respond with Desert Pharaoh's Pass, which has been a good track for them. They played it once and they won that match.
Yeah, and Sensation as of yet, no victories yet on Pharaoh's Pass, but only one track play so far. As I guess KWANGDONGFREECS feel comfortable playing on that map, regardless of the small sample size across the board, as Village Clock Tower Crossing, one of the other Village maps, going to be the ban coming out from Team Sensation, and the ban for KWANGDONGFREECS, World Tour London Night. Very good selection from them, I gotta say. The Sensation is 4-1. It's the most wins they have on any map in particular here in item mode, is World Tour London Night.
Yeah, it's interesting. A lot of these picks and bans are coming out, and we're seeing Village Town Hall as the second pickup for Sensation. And Town Hall is a track where they've managed to find very good success. They played 2 matches, they won twice, but KWANGDONGFREECS, they're also no stranger to that track. They played it 3 times and won twice.
Yeah, Brody's Gloom actually going to be the selection here for KWANGDONGFREECS. I guess this is probably because, Sensation just really hasn't gotten a lot of games on this track so far here in KDL Preseason 2, so maybe it's not a priority that they've been practicing, is perhaps the thought process there for the KWANGDONGFREECS. It's not one of their best tracks here in item mode. Factory Brody's Gloom, overall they're 2-3, and as Sensation has played zero instances of this track so far in KDL Preseason 2. It's kind of interesting in terms of what their plan might be.
That's what I actually like about it, the fact that KWANGDONGFREECS is pushing Sensation out of their comfort zone and forcing them to play in a track that they've never played before in item mode in Brody's Gloom. And of course, the second ban now coming out for the Freaks is going to be Polar Halfpipe.
Yeah, interesting selection there. I suppose KWANGDONGFREECS is not feeling as confident here on Halfpipe. Of course, it can be tricky with the upper level shortcut and also, the increased propagation of attack items and water balloons already being so effective on Polar Halfpipe because of how narrow it is through many of those corridors. And Mind Mother Load now the ban for Team Sensation.
I do like that ban there. I feel like they haven't really had a good time in the Mind Mother Load as of recent. So they're just going to go ahead and ban it, make sure that their opponent won't pick it up.
And now Sensation has 2 out of the last 3 picks here, so they're kind of going into a deep think and trying to decide exactly what they want to play on. As you can see the players on Sensation really just discussing this amongst each other, and Glacier Shark's Wake actually going to be the pick here.
Yeah, I'm surprised it survived this long, so that is going to be a bit of a no-brainer pickup for Sensation, as it is their most picked track in item so far. And for KWANGDONGFREECS, they do have some good picks available, like Village Town Hall perhaps, where they've had quite a lot of experience playing here in Preseason 2. But it feels like a lot of these track choices are going not off of just results in Preseason 2 main stage, but perhaps off of scrims as well, because we're seeing some surprising picks today.
Yeah, and I think Sphinx's Riddle here is a nice pick for the KWANGDONGFREECS, considering that Sensation is 0-2 here on this track now. Now we're kind of getting into the bottom of the barrel here in terms of item mode and where these teams are comfortable with it, with round 6 and round 7 picks. Is KDF, although they don't have the best record here on Desert Sphinx's Riddle, your opponents don't really either, as of yet, unable to pick up a win.
And there it is. The final track for Sensation is going to be Forest Mushroom Caves. And I feel like that pickup is going to be a bit of a wild card here. They haven't had the best time in it, but I also feel like they didn't really hesitate much in picking that one up. So I like that confidence showing up from Sensation.
Yeah, it's kind of a no-brainer pick for them as round number 7. There really was only 2 tracks for them to choose, and Forest Mushroom Caves going to be the selection from them, despite really not having the best record on it. Maybe it's something that they have been able to practice a little bit between their last match here in the KDL and now day 1 of the postseason.
Yeah, I feel like the draft phase for item mode went pretty evenly. I think both teams, they were able to ban out tracks that they don't want to play in at all, and also take some of the tracks that they feel really strongly in, and this is going to be a really close, evenly matched item mode.
I feel like it should be. I think if I had to choose, I would say in speed mode, I would probably give KWANGDONGFREECS a little bit of an edge there. Just given the way that the tracks have gone here, looking at the speed track list, I think they're very comfortable on Construction Chaos. Singapore Circuit, I'm not sure how good that's actually going to be here for Team Sensation, whereas, Brazil Circuit, Terracotta Twister, Boom Hill Tunnel, all very good picks here for the Freaks. And when it comes to item mode, I do think maybe Sensation might have the edge in that instance, and perhaps that might lead to a 1-1 situation where we actually are going to get an ace match.
I hope so, because you're concerning me right now, Stay. You're already questioning the first pick out of Sensation here, and that does mean, their strategy. We're looking at it and going, can they really handle this? And if they do, and they're actually able to win in speed against GWANGDONGFREECS. That's going to be a huge momentum swing for them.
Yeah, there's a lot of fans here in the studio for the first day of the postseason. As Peter, it's time to finally kick off the first match of the postseason. KWANGDONGFREECS versus Team Sensation in the lower bracket finals. Let's move to track number 1, Desert Construction Chaos.
We begin our first match of the day here in Speed between GWANGDONGFREECS and Sensation. As we take a look at the position so far, it seems like both teams have a pretty strong contention here.
Yeah, absolutely. This is a map that both of these teams are very comfortable with, and you can already see why. They're both contesting the top front ranks very well right now. Cool leading the pack, but Percent and Joker right behind him, and Hojin actually the speed ace.
Oh.
We've been hyping him up a lot coming into this one, but here in track number 1, all the way down in position number 8, he's gonna have to do some big catch-up.
Yeah, I love that play from Spear there, being able to catch up, making such a mess in the back line. And you can see him winning the lines against Joker there. That is going to be huge because now Sungbin can also catch up. It's 1-3-4 right now for GWANGDONGFREECS.
Yeah, so Spear really wants to close the distance on Cool and Percent so they can play a 2v1 situation up here, leading the pack. And with Percent finally trading those red nitrous for blue nitrous, he should be able to try to find a line to pass Cool. As actually, I think we might have had a technical issue there.
Yep.
Oh yeah, we're getting confirmation that I think we're going to be going into a regame there.
Definitely was concerning for me when I saw Hojin down at last place, because we kept hyping up Hojin as the player that's always running in the front for Sensation, and it seems like there might have been some issues, so our staff are checking into that right now.
Yeah, it seems like Hojin might have had some kind of computer trouble as we're waiting for the referees to make their decision and try to get this squared away. Of course, you know, first match of the postseason is probably where you want to have this one. You don't want these issues to emerge over the course of the series, you know, in like a round 6 or a round 7 of a speed mode or an item mode. Is just got to make sure everything is nice and ready. But I got to say, right out of the gates there in track number 1, both Team Sensation and KWANGDONGFREECS looking very competitive. Both had several racers contesting the very front ranks, really from the beginning.
Yep. And that was a great test run, honestly. Just as you put it, State, it's great when you have these problems happen right on the first match, because all of the players were just getting their fingers warmed up anyways, and now they're going to be able to catch this issue right from the start, and it seems like hopefully we won't have this repeat throughout the later matches.
Yeah, anytime you have any kind of issue with your computer, you just want to get it squared away right from the get-go. As it seems like Hojin might, just looking by the body language, that issue might have been resolved, as we're still waiting to hear from the referees on exactly what the situation is. But I'm imagining that we will be going into a rematch there for match number 1. I mean, it was so early in the track, right?
Yeah, I definitely think that we will be able to move past this issue with no problem. So far in Preseason 2, whenever we had these technical difficulties, we ended up just going to a regame as long as it was fair and everyone decided that, yeah, this definitely had a noticeable impact on the match result, so we need to do the regame. Our judges have been pretty on point with their decisions so far.
Yeah, confirmation that Hojin actually did have that computer issue. He actually raised his hand when the match was starting to signal the referees that he was encountering some problems. And so we will be going into a restart here for match number 1. And well, maybe a little bit of those nervous jitters going away here for Team Sensation and KWANGDONGFREECS as they get to re-go here in the very first track.
Yep, and seems like definitely even the players on the side of Sensation, they're not really too shaken by that. You can see the fingers. They're just getting ready to get back into kart, because after that first lap we just played, how could you not? You literally just started getting warmed up, right?
Yeah. I mean, this is not going to affect their mentality very much, I think, coming into this one again.
Yeah.
We're just waiting for the lobby to get ready. Got a sneak peek there at one of the players' screens, as it seems like we might be ready to go into this one very shortly here. And I'm excited to get started. And yeah, I was surprised that Hojin was all the way down in position number 8 there on that race, really from the beginning. And you know, him experiencing maybe some technical issues with his PC, probably a very likely cause of that is he's been so reliable for Team Sensation throughout the entirety of KDL Preseason 2. I believe, if not second, then perhaps 3rd overall in the team match rankings, as he has really come back into his own.
Yeah. So I just saw Guard earlier, and he was just very serious and focused, which is A bit uncharacteristic for Guard because I see him smiling a lot for the camera. That's how much pressure the postseason is having. But Joker, he's there just like, oh, I want to get back in the game.
Yeah, living up to his name, man. It doesn't surprise me at all that he'd be a little bit more serious here for the first match against the reigning champions in what is effectively a do-or-die series, of course. This is the lower bracket finals, so the team eliminated from this series today is out of the postseason as we're getting ready to go back into track number 1. Once again, Desert Construction Chaos. And now we begin. Desert Construction Chaos. Hojin off to a much better start as all those kinks have been ironed out. And now Sensation, Guard Percent, and Hojin all try to battle World, and with a really nice line, able to body block him out. And you could already see the sweeping coming through from Percent, but World finding a nice inner line, able to unseat him back into second place.
Is trying to do the same, but Hojin, he was able to block Cool out from doing that. Now it's 1, 2, 3, 4 being hotly contested by both teams. One thing to note is that Joker, he is losing against Sungbin and Spear right now, and if Joker cannot catch up out of that position, as soon as World takes first place, KWANGDONGFREECS, they're going to have an advantage.
Yeah, KWANGDONGFREECS should World and Cool be able to unseat Guard, who's trying his best right now to body block them and allow Hojin and Percent to close the distance. It will be a lot of pressure on Team Sensation, who has Percent and Joker right now into low place in position number 7 and 8. But Hojin with really nice body blocking right there. The first collisions were very good for him, but the follow-up after that just wasn't quite able to rebound, as it seems like Cool might actually be able to find this angle to contest. Man, so many body fights right now early on between Hojin and the players on KWANGDONGFREECS.
Yeah, and you can see the bottom 4 players really starting to catch up now. In fact, KWANGDONGFREECS taking a huge momentum swing for themselves. You can see now World, he takes first place as well. Sensation is looking quite far behind them.
Yeah, the past couple of moments here for the KWANGDONGFREECS have been very critical for them, as Hojin, Percent, and Joker all in the bottom places. Gonna have to close the distance, use these blue nitrous and perhaps some drafting to actually unseat Cool, as Cool's trying to body block there with the long body of the New York City tour bus, but actually unable to connect here with Hojin.
Yep, and I like that inner block there by Cool, not giving Hojin the pass. Spear with a nice execution there as well. You can see now 1, 2, 3, 4 for KWANGDONGFREECS. This is such a dominant way to go about it. Guard, he's going to get executed off that collision into the wall.
And Guard, not only did he clip the wall, but also he clipped one of the players of Team Sensation, one of his teammates right behind him. So a lot of momentum lost, as we might have a perfect victory here for the Freaks. I mean, there isn't much track left to be played. 500 meters to the finish line. KWANGDONGFREECS absolutely going to win track number 1 in commanding fashion.
Absolutely commanding, just as you put it, State. And I saw the camera, the faces of KWANGDONGFREECS players, and they were just kind of smiling like, damn, this is how it's going to go? It's pretty one-sided.
Yeah, I mean, that's the... If KWANGDONGFREECS wanted to make a statement here, coming in as the 4th seed for the KDL postseason, this is it. You know, the champions, we're back. We're on a journey back to the grand finals. 4-0 over Sensation here, the first track of speed mode. I mean, with such a wide differential, too. Looking at the difference between World and Percent, almost 2 seconds in total, separating first place from the Freaks with the leading racer on Team Sensation. As now Sensation's going to have to rebound on the next track. It's kind of a scary position for them here.
Absolutely. So what really ended up happening in that first round was it felt like KWANGDONGFREECS, they were winning in a lot of that sweeping matchup. They've had so many phenomenal moments where it feels like Sensation, they've had no response at all, especially when Hojin, a player that we want to see up in the top 2, he's getting constantly blocked out by players like Cool. It's really hard to focus on your own line when you have that extra pressure on you.
Yeah, Sensation just wasn't able to handle the pressure coming out for the KWANGDONGFREECS, and you could really see it with those collisions, especially on lap number 2, is everything just kind of fell apart for them. But now we're going into their track selection. We'll see what Team Sensation has planned here as we move on to track number 2 here in the lower bracket finals. It'll be WKC Singapore Circuit.
Off we go into speed round number 2. It's KWANGDONGFREECS leading right now 1-0, and it feels like Sensation, always in that first lap, they have the cohesion as a team. They have such a strong grip on that top 4, but at least one player is down in 8th place, and that's what really snowballed into lap 2, where Guangdong Freaks were able to get a lot of advantage back with some 6 sweeps. So far though, 1-2 looking pretty strong for Sensation.
Yeah, and it is kind of the same story here on Singapore Circuit with Joker and Guard all the way in the low place at 7 and 8. And Sungmin here with this outer line will be able to remove Percent from that 2nd place position. And now, oh man, Cool taking a very ambitious line there. Was trying to body block Percent a little bit. Wasn't actually able to maintain the connection. But Sungmin able to work his way all the way up to 1st place. And Cool, once again, coming in on the outside. These collisions are so critical. KDF knows that, you know, with Sensation, Joker, and Guard all the way there on the low ranks.
Yeah.
It's going to be quite easy for them to actually maintain position here, as seems like Sungmin and Spear really consolidating right now in 1st and 2nd place.
Cool is just pouncing on Sensation like a tiger right now. His sweeping is just all he's been focused on, and Percent, he's kind of just one-manning up here right now. It seems like Guard did have a disconnect, so we'll have to see what happens around that.
Yeah, we'll have to wait to see what the referee's decision is going to be. Is it right now is a back to 4v2 with Percent also disconnecting. Yeah, not sure exactly what's going there on the technical side between KWANGDONG Freaks and Sensation, as Sensation seems to be having a couple of technical issues here.
Joker, he's gonna join his brothers, Percent and Guard. It's Emperor Hojin versus the world.
I love the Hojin cam. He just looks so intense and focused in a 1v4. Like, guys, I still got this. Relax. Everything's gonna be fine.
Imagine if Hojin can win just by coming in 1st place alone. That would be sick. Just 1v4ing it, quite literally.
I gotta say, I'm a little bit surprised he's actually been able to work his way all the way up to 4th position, because, you know...
yeah, now 3rd.
Yeah, the team Nitrous Cage not quite as beneficial there for Hojin, just racing all by his lonesome. Yeah. As, yeah, we will wait and see exactly what the referee decision is. It seems like Team Sensation is experiencing a little bit of technical difficulties here with their PCs in match number 1, and I think it was, what, Guard in the 1st track, and now here in track number 2. Or Hojin in the 1st track, excuse me. Now here in track number 2, I believe it was Guard who experienced the first of issues. So we'll see exactly what the decision is going to be. Hopefully, this tech pause will be able to resolve. We'll be able to get resolved quickly, right? And we can resume the action, as, you know, especially for, you know, the players on stage. It's always kind of a bummer when you ever have any kind of technical issue like this emerge in a very critical match. I mean, for Team Sensation, after losing track number 1 in dominating fashions, actually, I think we actually have some PCs swapped out here, as a couple of desktop computers are coming out. But just to go back to the point that I was making, it really hurts for Team Sensation, you know? You might think that, yeah, KWANGDONG Freaks, they won track number 1, so they're the team right now that really wants to maintain the momentum. But, you know, if I put myself in the shoes of Team Sensation, after track number 1, where KWANGDONG Freaks won with not just a high place, but with a 1-2-3-4 perfect finish, I'm feeling pretty bad about that if I'm Team Sensation, right? I want to go back out there in track number 2. I want to put on a good show. I want to try and get the morale of my team back up and try to, you know, uplift myself from that crushing defeat in the very first track and try to get the momentum going back my way. But now with this tech delay, it seems like some PCs will be swapped out here. For Team Sensation, it's kind of looming a little bit. That track number 1 result.
At least there's one really good news. It's that Hojin, he had the issue first, and we fixed this PC, and we can see that on the 2nd match, he's had no problems at all. So that means once we fix the rest of the PCs on the side of Sensation, we're not going to have any tech problems for the whole day, most likely.
That's a very optimistic thinking there, Peter, and I hope that you are right. I would love to have this just be able to carry on as our tech team right now, swapping out those PCs. Man, I feel like we're watching like some
a PC building contest.
Yeah, PC building contest. Or this is like a real racetrack, man. We're swapping out tires right now under these gamers' chairs.
Now we are actually kart riding in real life.
Yeah, they're at the pit stop, man. Getting ready for track number 2. They're going too fast. They wore down the rubber feet on the bottom of those PCs.
Yeah, and it's actually good for KWANGDONG Freaks as well. You can see you got to get those eye drops in, man. When you game too hard, your eyes can dry out, and nothing can be more aggravating than, you know, your eyes refusing to stay open and look at the screen in a comfortable manner.
Yeah, I have that problem a bunch when I'm playing PC games.
Oh, yeah?
And it's not like eye strain with a monitor, but, you know, as a former StarCraft 2 pro gamer and now like a competitive Age of Empires enjoyer, like I play a lot of RTS games. I notice that when I play those games, and even when I play Kart Rider, my eyes are just glued on the screen. I do not blink.
Really?
Like if I'm playing Kart Rider, I will probably not blink from the beginning of track number 1 until the end of whatever race that I'm doing.
Are you okay, State?
I don't know. It's just some weird thing I've had ever since I was a kid and I played my first couple of video games.
Right.
You know, on like my CRT monitors and stuff like that. I've always had this quirk where if I'm playing a computer game, whatever genre it is, my eyes are just absolutely peeled. It's like one of those horror movies where they're just like duct taped open or something like that. Like that's basically what I'm dealing with on a personal basis whenever I'm playing any kind of PC game. Is I can relate to those guys on stage who are putting in their eye drops.
Really?
Trying to relieve the burden, because I imagine I'm not alone with this. I guarantee that some people watching at home have kind of the same feeling where, you know, like they play their games, and when they're playing their games, they're just so intensely focused on what they're doing that they're not, you know, you don't think about hydrating yourself. You don't even think about blinking. You're just there in the moment, trying your best, you know, do whatever your best build is, take the best lines,
Right.
pop that Thunderbolt right before the finish line in item mode.
Yeah, I'm certain our fans here in the crowd also need that kind of moment to get the eye drops in, because a match like Guangdong Freaks versus Sensation, it's got to get your blood pumping. And a break like this, it can actually be nice. You can kind of chill out. And when you're calmer, you can actually see the game more in a detailed way, I feel like. So you can pay more attention to the drafts coming out. Oh my goodness, Hojin, the drafts are insane. This is how he does it every single time. So
is that your viewing experience? It's so intense that you got to take breaks in between?
yeah, I mean, it's nice to keep going, but
Do
breaks
some
like
yoga.
this also good. Yeah, yoga. We'd love to see those. I know Pilates is a very popular thing as well. I don't know too much about that.
You don't know too much about Pilates.
Yeah. Do you
I
do that
don't
still?
know very much about it either. I'm making fun of you for it, but I also don't. I'm a nerd, man. I'm at home gaming. I'm playing Kart Rider or something else all the time. So
Yeah, and I can imagine.
not much time to do these healthy habits.
I can imagine the way you said that you just don't even blink when you play games. You probably don't move even a limb. You're just like glued to that PC. You have a goal in mind. You want to win this many times today, and until you win, you don't even give yourself an opportunity to eat food.
Maybe. I mean, I'm kind of an anxious gamer, though. I oftentimes like my knees bouncing up and down, my foot shaking, my legs shaking.
Really?
I've always been that way. I've been a little bit fidgety. Even like when I was in school, you know, like listen to my teacher talk at a lecture on something. I'm always like playing with a pen, playing with a pencil. Gotta keep moving with something, but
Yeah,
tech
that's
pause.
a good way.
Yeah, tech pause still ongoing. It seems like the PCs have been swapped out as Team Sensation back in their chairs. A lot of these players seem like they're ready to go. Of course, I'm sure some of these gamers just making sure all of their settings are right. Of course, swapping out PCs, some of those settings do get reset back to default in the operating system. So just want to make sure that everything is going to be in tip-top shape, that we don't have any more issues over the course of the rest of the series. But man, going back to track number 1, what an opening statement here from the Freaks. I mean, that 4-0 perfect win on their track selection, just looking very strong. You got to worry about Sensation here coming into, you know, their track pick, WKC Singapore Circuit, a track that, you know, overall here in KDL Preseason 2, they only played on it once, and yes, they did win, but something they don't have too much experience with. So it's kind of a tricky moment for them, because really a lot of the draft comes down to how well they do on their first choice, right? This is their priority. They pick this track over any other track before even KWANGDONG Freaks could get any bans out. So you got to think that they have something special cooked up here. You got to think they're feeling confident here on the streets of Singapore. But if they can't come through with the victory and they go down 2-0 in the best of 7 here in speed mode, it's a very precarious position.
I'll tell you what though, State, the last time that Sensation and Guangdong Freaks played against each other in the main stage, it was Sensation winning speed. It was 3-1. So right now, Sensation is down 1 point. This is their chance. They can make it repeat. They just need to now get their forms together, utilize this break to once again just kind of like settle their minds down and really focus on what is their game plan today. And I'm sure they'll be able to come back with a 3-1 sweep. And as for item, it was Guangdong Freaks winning against them, and this happened also in Preseason 1 in the item mode where Guangdong Freaks won against Sensation. So it is really important for Sensation here today that they're able to secure a win here in speed, starting with a round 2 in WKC Singapore Circuit.
And the action continues here in the KDL postseason first match, lower bracket finals. KWANGDONGFREECS versus Team Sensation. Now on Sensation's first track pick, off to a good start are Hojin and Joker, but Garden% once again in those low spots, Peter.
Yeah, I mean, that is definitely not the story you want to have. Hojin, his only support right now is Joker, and Joker has been playing that support role pretty well so far in this season, but you can see Cool and Spear really winning those body checks right now.
Yeah, Hojin really the lead racer for Sensation, doing a lot of the legwork in terms of points, and he's going to have to hold on that first place to the best of his ability so that they can actually maintain this lead, because otherwise it's going to be a very tricky problem for them. Even right now, with Hojin in first place, KWANGDONGFREECS with 2, 3, 5, 7. That's a winning formula. Now Guard is able to pass World as we're battling here in the low ranks, and these positions matter a ton, especially should Hojin be able to hold on to that first rank.
Oh my goodness, not only Guard, but now Percent also winning that battle on the back line. That is going to be huge for Sensation because it provides so much relief for Hojin now. All he needs to do is focus on his own line and get the first place rather than worrying about sweeping and buying his team some time.
Yeah, but for Hojin, cool, going for a little bit of body check there, but unable to do it. Now Joker actually able to lend some support to Hojin. Is cool with the outer line, is able to pass him for just a moment here. We'll see if that maintains. And Spear also coming in, looking to see if he can do some body blocking here on Joker. Now with the current setup, Sensation is leading this race, but it's critical they maintain that first place position.
Yeah, Joker tried for a nice body block there, but it was Spear winning on the trade of that one. And we're seeing Cool, he's really just focusing on his own build right now, trying to secure that first place against Hojin. We could call it a 1v1 in that matter. However, in the back, Sungbin and World, they are losing that body fight.
Yeah, Percent and Joker have actually fallen back down to 7-8 as the lower rank battle continues on here, and now KWANGDONGFREECS. It's a 4v2 basically for these top positions, as it seems like Joker might have disconnected yet again as we see his ghost right there at the top of the screen. And we are going to go all the way to the finish line here, so I'm not sure exactly what the issue is here for Sensation. This has to be a really difficult position for them, considering how well this seemed to be going. They were in a very tight race with KWANGDONGFREECS all the way through lap number 2 right there. It was neck and neck, I think 20 points to 19 for the majority of it, but it seems like the tech problem still continuing on for them. Hojin's like, all right guys, it's fine. It's fine, everybody. Relax, deep breaths.
You love the start in Hojin here. He is not having a bad time with these delays and tech issues. He knows it's a thing that just kind of happens, and I like that his mentality is so strong here. Meanwhile, KWANGDONGFREECS players, they also look like, pretty calm and collected so far. They understand that, these issues do happen, and they are hoping that their opponents will be able to fix out those technical issues.
Yeah, so the tech team coming out once again here at the arena as Team Sensation just trying to get their bearings, giving each other thumbs up. Hojin right there clapping a little bit, trying to lift the morale as, they would really just like to get the ball rolling right here and try to uplift themselves from the 1-0 deficit they find themselves in here in this best of 7 in speed mode.
Yeah, and you can see right now Team Sensation having a discussion with our staff just to really clarify, what are some of the problems they've been having so that we can make sure that this doesn't repeat, because so far in our speed match between KWANGDONGFREECS and Sensation, there has been this technical issue repeating on the side of Sensation, so it would be nice to get that solved out.
Yeah, KWANGDONGFREECS as of yet haven't really experienced any issues, so everything is good on their end. It just strictly seems like a couple of players on Team Sensation, whether it be some settings or perhaps we did have PCs swapped out, so I'm not sure exactly what the issue might be. But it's got to be a frustrating moment. I mean, especially for Team Sensation right now, and even though it's obviously it's not their fault, these things happen in esports all around the world, not just in Cartwright or Drift or the KDL, but in basically every esport of every genre. Anytime you have a LAN or even an online event, there are always issues with computers. It comes with the territory here in PC gaming, right? And especially in esports is you find yourself in this position. It's nobody's fault, but for Team Sensation, you still kind of gotta feel bad. As I've been in the exact same situation where I'm playing in a tournament, and my computer's the one that keeps having issues, and it's like, look, okay, it's not my fault. This is something that's going on. Like, it's out of my control. Like, we're here on stage. Like, we're trying to get this fixed, but even though it's not your fault, you do kind of feel bad because you're the one that's either disconnecting from the lobby or experiencing, some kind of problem with your computer that's making it unable for you to play. And so in a way, it does kind of feel like everybody is waiting on you. And I hope that the players on Team Sensation, being the veterans that they are, aren't experiencing too much of that anxiety. right now because, again, it really is nobody's fault. We want to get this cleaned up as quickly as possible, as I'm getting confirmation from our producers that Joker and Percent's computers will be swapped, so hopefully that will alleviate some of the issues that Team Sensation has been experiencing. It seems like Joker and Percent have really been the two racers that, oh, look at this tracking by Hojin. And he can keep a good line, not just in-game, but also also following the camera that we have here in the arena on the big old crane.
Yeah, if we were playing an FPS game right there, that was a headshot. He was right on your head there.
He was focused in. It reminds me of like have you ever seen the stability of some birds, their heads? Like I'm thinking of a chicken, especially.
You've seen that?
Yeah. I had a pet chicken when I was a kid. I had a chicken and a rooster on my house, man. I'm not like a country boy, but I'm from America. We lived in a residential home. We had a chicken in our backyard. Yeah, we had free eggs. And one of the funny things, I don't know if anybody else has ever seen this, but I mean, I feel like I'm in the minority right now because you just said that you don't see it. But I'm sure a lot of people have seen this before where if you hold like a chicken, for example, by the legs, and you move the body around, you do like a circular motion. I kind of wish I was on camera for this. You do like a circular motion holding the chicken. The body's all moving. The head stays exactly in a fixed position in space. So the neck maneuvers with the body and it goes up and down, but the head, it stays perfectly fixed. And I feel like that was Hojin watching the crane camera right there. He's like a chicken.
Yeah, or if you put it in a more fearsome way, like an eagle on the hunt.
Chickens are fierce, man. I don't know what you're talking about. Chickens, they get a bad rep.
But they end up on my dinner plate at the end of the day. So.
Yeah, they're small. They're small. They've come a long way from being dinosaurs. Those guys are fierce, man. Chickens are scary. I'm telling you, as somebody that had a chicken in their backyard, those are some scary beasts sometimes. Especially a rooster. You make a rooster angry. That thing's got claws. It's got personality. It's like a more agile, like Canadian geese. Have you ever walked by a park with like Canadian geese that are by the water? They get very territorial and they start to scare you away.
Is that like a U.S. thing? Can you?
Have you ever seen any bird in your life, Peter? What has been your...
I've seen ducks, pigeons.
Never seen geese?
I've seen birds in Pokemon.
That doesn't count, Peter. That doesn't count. Yeah, geese are highly territorial in both America and also Canada, and I'm sure elsewhere around the world. I know the UK also has them. Geese are quite common around bodies of water, and you'll walk past like a lake or something in a park, and geese will chase you away from wherever they want to be, wherever they consider their territory. They would chase you away. I don't know why I can't speak suddenly. But yeah, birds.
Those geese, man, the PTSD, it's hitting you.
It's scary, yeah.
Now you're done for today. You can't cast anymore, State.
I gotta go.
Yeah.
gotta go text Wolf or Trober. They gotta come in here and tag team this.
Yeah, but
of course, we're still waiting for the PCs to get swapped in. I can see on the monitor right now that Joker has been able to rejoin the lobby, so Percent perhaps right now getting some settings all sorted on his PC.
Yeah, and our fan there saying that they came all the way to the stadium to watch Kart Rider Drift League, despite the weather we're having. Speaking of, if you guys are not in Korea right now, it's been very rainy as of recent, very dark clouds. Yeah, it's that season right now. One benefit is that at least the weather kind of like cools down, but if you go outside, it's definitely not that much of a positive.
Yeah, it's usually hot around Korea this time of year, so always nice for the fans to be able to weather the storms outside, make their way down to the arena where we have some nice air conditioning. It's a beautiful arena too, very spacious.
They have one of the widest screens I've ever seen as well.
Oh yeah, it's an absolutely beautiful monitor. If any of the fans watching right now and listening to our broadcast, if you are able to find your way out down to Korea, make sure to come down to the KDL studio if you get a chance.
Yeah.
It's a wonderful place to watch some games here, as you see right there. Beautiful stadium. It seems like the tech issue has finally been resolved here for Sensation. Let's hope that holds up here as we're getting ready to go back into track number 2. KWANGDONG up 1-0. Let's race on WKC Singapore circuit.
We are back here on Speed Round 2 for a rematch between Sensation and KWANGDONGFREECS. Of course, to refresh our memories, KWANGDONGFREECS is leading right now 1-0, so even if they win this one, it's not over yet.
Yeah, and it's a best of 7 too, so there's still a lot of Kart Rider left to be played. And Sensation right now here, very close. Hojin once again contesting Great 1 position here up against Cool, so very reminiscent of the last time we played this track up until we had to go into the restart. But as far as Percent and Guard go, a little bit stronger here in the midfield, and Joker as well. You know, he was right there down in 7th place, but as you see, it's a very tight pack.
Yeah, absolutely. It seems like Sungbin and World, they're really losing that bottom line, however.
That Percent actually there collided with the wall to try and do a little bit of body blocking right there on the players of KWANGDONGFREECS as World falls all the way down into 7th place, and now it's Hojin continuing the battle against the lead racers here for KWANGDONGFREECS. Cool, Sungbin, and Spear. Now Guard is able to make his way up into that 4th place position with the inner line. He is trying to get past Sungbin, but Sungbin doing such a good job of zoning these Sensation players out.
Absolutely. It feels like a Sungbin one-man show so far, buying a lot of time. However, it is Sensation that's having a pretty good position here, especially with now Hojin winning potentially against Cool. That 1v1 is going to be pivotal.
Yeah, it's absolutely pivotal, Peter, especially considering how staggered the midfield has been so far with 4-6-7, or 4-6-8, excuse me, all going to Sensation right now. Hojin has to hold on to that 1st place position if Sensation wants to come through with a win here. And lap number 2 is now Guard trying to get into this, alleviate some of that pressure right now on the lead racer, Hojin, but Cool and Spear doing such a good job of maintaining their lead.
Yeah, I love that tag play. Spear playing sweeper while Cool, he utilizes that moment to boost forward. And now it's 1-3 for KWANGDONGFREECS. Sensation, they are far behind right now, sitting at 7-8. It's really hard for Hojin to try to buy time now.
Now here on this straightaway, Guard is able to pass Sungbin just for a moment. Hojin with a nice boost, able to work his way in. He's going to try and take the tight inner line to see if he can unseat Cool. Hojin and Guard right now in position 2 and 3. That's good, but not good enough, Peter.
Yeah.
As Hojin really needs to win this 1v1 versus Cool. It might all come down to this.
Yeah, even if he does, it's too late now because Guard, he falls out of contention of 1-2. And it seems like KWANGDONGFREECS, they're going to finalize their win with a 1-3-4-5. The back line of Sensation, they fell apart.
Yeah, and it seems very reminiscent of the first track that we played here. You know, KDF had a very similar story there in track number 1 where, you know, in the first lap of that race, it was very close all the way throughout. KWANGDONGFREECS had a very slight edge, and then, you know, in the latter portion of lap number 2, both in track 1 and here on WKC Singapore Circuit in track number 2, KWANGDONGFREECS did such a good job of sweeping, of team fighting, of supporting each other, especially in the midfield. And, you know, it's not the 1-2-3-4 finish they had last time, but 1-2-3-4-5 is still incredibly good as KWANGDONGFREECS all but stopping Sensation. You know, only Hojin really stood a chance there in the latter portion of Singapore Circuit.
That 3-1 comeback in speed for Sensation that I was kind of building up to, it's gone harder now. But at least it's a best of 7 here, so you could still come back with a 4-2. That is also a winning score. But at that point, Sensation would need to win all of their remaining matches, and that is going to be a tough task because we are already in round 3, and it's going to be Village Boom Hill Tunnel.
Here we go on Village Boom Hill Tunnel, and you're right, Peter, time is running out a little bit here for Sensation as they only have, in a way, 2 lives left for speed mode. Of course, this is the best of 7 here in the postseason, not the best of 5 that we are acclimated to during the regular season here at the KDL. As Sensation off to, you know, yet another good start, but I'm concerned a little bit about their midfield. Guard Percent once again all the way down in the bottom of the pack, and it's been an issue for them, not just here in track number 3, but over the course of this entire series.
Yeah, absolutely. And Sungbin right now, he's trying to win the trade against Joker, but there's Hojin, the trustworthy player for Sensation, trying to get back in the top. World putting a lot of pressure right now on Sensation, blocking into 2 players.
Yeah, but Joker, Joker actually like a pinball machine right there, bouncing off the walls a lot, is actually going to slow down everybody in the midfield, so maybe not going the best way there as World went for a very ambitious body block, was not able to get it. Hojin taking creative build right here, going up on the left side. A little bit of a risky build, but it does pay off for him as he is able to close the distance here on Spear and Sungbin, and actually able to pass Spear right there, and actually went for a big body block, but oh no, he clips the box.
Yeah, I mean, it's looking rough right now. Percent, he needs to deny this 1-2. It's all on the Percent shoulder right now, but Cool with the blocks. It's too good, and Percent, he clips the wall. 1-2 finish for KWANGDONGFREECS.
Yeah, 1-2 finish there for KWANGDONGFREECS as they get the high place, and now they're up 3-0 here in the best of 7 of speed mode as KDF, man, they are coming out with a vengeance here against Team Sensation. Though Sensation might have been able to take speed mode against them during the regular season, and now here in the postseason, KWANGDONGFREECS catching new life.
Really does feel that way, State. In the speed match, I don't think we've seen a match this dominant, one-sided against a team like Sensation, who has been phenomenal in their speed matches. And I guess it's not too surprising when you think of the fact that, after all, it is KWANGDONGFREECS. They are the defending champions. They had such a nice win for their organization in Preseason 1, finally defeating their longtime opponent, Liv Sandbox.
Yeah, now here in the lower bracket final, it's a more difficult journey to become champion yet again as we get a quick replay here of the final moments. On Village, Boom Hill Tunnel, Hojo went for a very creative build here. I love this line that he took against Spear as well, and then body blocking him right here because he knew the win condition was for Sensation to try and consolidate in the middle of the pack as position 1 was completely lost. They wanted to go for something like a 2-3-4, but then clipping the box after that jump, just taking a lot of the wind out of the sails there for Team Sensation, as now they're basically on their last life. If KWANGDONGFREECS win one more track, they're going to win speed mode with a nice advantage coming into item mode. So we're going to move to track number 4. It will be WKC Japan Circuit.
We begin our final round here, potentially for KWANGDONGFREECS if they win. And right now, it feels like Hojin, he's been doing a phenomenal job staying in the top. Just in that last match, however, it was KWANGDONGFREECS with the 1-2, so Sensation looking for their own 1-2 here.
Yeah, but I don't think that says that Hojin's form is in a bad place right now with that 1-2 finish. He just went for a very, kind of creative and very different build to try and set Sensation up for their only win condition, which was something like a 2-3-4 on that previous track. So him not getting a top 2 right there, not very surprising to me.
Right.
But the main concern for Sensation today is Joker and Guard in position 7 and 8. They haven't been able to lend very much support to Hojin and Percent, who often are fighting 1v2 or 2v3 in the upper ranks, and that's such a difficult position to be in, even for a legend like Hojin right now. As you see right on screen, he's battling up against Sungbin and World with Spear right behind him. And he's still able to hold on to first place for now, but it's just so hard. It's like a war of attrition.
Absolutely, KWANGDONGFREECS just winning as a team overall right now. Only Hojin in contention really as cool. He just needs to block out Percent, keep the 3 players in the bottom from Sensation, and KWANGDONGFREECS is doing that phenomenally.
Yeah, the sweeping from KWANGDONGFREECS has been so good. Not just cool, but also Sungbin especially have been doing a great job of body checking Team Sensation and really slowing them down here as we enter lap number 3, final lap. Hojin still in first place, but KDF holding on position 2, 3, and 4. Still to be in a very good spot, but now Guard actually with a breakaway over here. Seeing if he can try and make a pass on Spear with this inner line. No, not yet.
Absolutely not. Hojin, he needs to do all he can to at least break apart the 1-2. That is the only winning condition. However, Spear and Sungbin, the duo, they're playing out of their minds right now, trying to make sure they secure that win condition.
Hojin's trying his best to disrupt it as he goes for a body check there, but actually unable to connect, and he's going to fall all the way down into position number 6 as the finish line only 300 meters away. Now Hojin, he works his way back up into top 2. He will be able to disrupt the top 2. No! As KWANGDONGFREECS in dominating fashion, they win speed mode the same way that they won track number 1 in speed mode. 1, 2, 3, 4. They win every single map, and they're going to be heading into item mode with a 1-0 lead in this series.
That honestly surprises me, State. I feel like Sensation, they're so good at speed, but just today, KWANGDONGFREECS, their form is on another level. It's like they're getting flashbacks to the moment where they were that champion in Preseason 1, because it feels like you're absolutely playing against the champion right now. What can you do when they beat you 4-0 in such a dominating fashion?
I don't know. That's a very tough loss here for Team Sensation, though. Not even getting 1-0 on the board. Even their 0 right there on the lower third was small. So it just kind of encapsulates probably the momentum that they're feeling right now, as it seems like it's nil, zilch, as Team Sensation gonna have to go back to the drawing board here in item mode. But it's a very concerning start of the day here. I mean, this is their last chance. The loser of this series is going to be eliminated from this tournament, so Sensation has to be feeling the pressure here as we look at the item track list for item mode. Absolutely.
We have picked up, of course, the tracks earlier in the ban phase, and it was Mine Magma Cavern, Town Hall, Shark's Wake, and Mushroom Caves going over to the side of Sensation. And I feel like Sensation having that first pick, as well as the round 7 pick, is going to have that insurance feel a lot more confident now because we would really love to see Sensation bring us to an ace match because it means that much more when you can decide a victor off of that clutch match.
Absolutely, and Sensation has been very reliable in ace matches with the prowess of Hojin specifically, but if they want to get there, they have to win here in item mode. 4 tracks away from forcing that ace match. We'll see if they're able to do it here as we start out on track number 1, Mine Magma Cavern. Team Sensation, after losing 4-0 to the KWANGDONGFREECS in speed mode, have to make something happen here in item mode, have to force that ace match, otherwise their dreams of winning the KDL Preseason 2 will end today.
Yeah, and this is going to be a 3-lapper track here, but already in the first one, Joker, he's managed to pick up an Angel. So Sensation, they are a bit stacked on that defensive item usage right now. Guard, he's going to cycle through a shield of his own as well.
Yeah, we'll have to keep big eyes on exactly what the team play items are going to be here for both the KWANGDONGFREECS and Team Sensation. Now, the meta, it has shifted to be a lot more aggressive with higher proc gens of items such as water whips, of missiles, the attacks, especially here on Magma Cavern with all these racers coming up that one ramp leading into the finish line. In lap number 3, you get a good water balloon. It cannot be dodged on that ramp, so that's something you got to keep in the back of your mind here as we continue on with Magma Cavern. Is not only the team play items such as the lightning bolts and the angel shields, but also water balloons heading in there as well. With an interesting line there, to say the least, is going to fall off the track, but not too impactful here in item mode, especially only in lap number 2. Rarely do we have any racer kind of break away, especially on this track, and lead the pack. It's much more about the team play composition, and now with Team Sensation's Joker holding on to 2 angel shields, he's basically done cycling through items for the rest of the track. He wants to hold on to those, and so for the rest of Team Sensation, they know they have that defensive lineup behind them. They have to start thinking about what their win condition is going to be. And so for Guard, with a Magnet and a Nitrous, you think maybe you just hold on to that for the finish line.
Yep, that is absolutely what Guard is doing so far. Meanwhile, on the side of KWANGDONGFREECS World, he's looking to draw a lot of aggro here, potentially go through the EMP. He's going to get caught up by that water bomb, and now it's Sungbin trying to lead.
A nice water bomb there with only 500 meters left to go. No lightning on the board. Is actually Hojin's going to fall off the map, and now Guard. Keep in mind, he does have that Magnet and the Nitrous here as he's trying his best to fight against these racers, and the Magnet pops, the Nitrous does as well, and that is going to be enough speed for Guard to be able to cross the finish line ahead of Cool and World. So Sensation finally getting on the board here, winning track number 1 in item mode.
That is great to see that we can have Sensation strike back with a round win of their own. It's going to be a lot more closely matched if Sensation is able to win an item here after losing in speed. And what a great way to start here on their own track of choice. Magma Cavern has been a pretty consistent track for them so far in Preseason 2, and that's really continuing here today as well.
And let's remember that Sensation, they have item mode priority. They are able to get most of the map picks here, 4 out of the 7 tracks, as KWANGDONGFREECS did have the speed priority here in this set. So for Team Sensation, you got to think that they're going to have some more tracks to play on that they're very comfortable with here in item mode. And Team Sensation, especially here in KDL Preseason 2, they seem to be formidable in item mode, as it's been hard for teams such as KWANGDONGFREECS to really solidify their position in this game mode.
Yeah, and I feel like, honestly, if you're KWANGDONGFREECS here, you dropped a round here in item, but you're not too concerned because in both Preseason 1 and 2 in the main stages, KWANGDONGFREECS, they've won against Sensation in that item mode every single time. And none of them were perfect wins either. So dropping first round here, it's no biggie. And I feel like, honestly, it's nice to see in this track 1, we saw different strategies coming out, mainly focusing on Magnet, like the old style combo, rather than a lot of the lightning. We didn't really see that happen, but in track 2, we could have so much more lightnings, so let's find that out in Desert Pharaoh's Pass. Off we go into item round number 2, and as we take a look at the track winning rate so far, KWANGDONGFREECS, they are a lot more favored here compared to Sensation.
Yeah, KWANGDONGFREECS, they have a very good record here on Pharaoh's Pass. Of course, their first map pick, as this is track number 2. We do alternate the map picks here in the KDL. And we'll see exactly what they have in store for them already. Is, you know, so far here in lap number 1, we have a lot of track left to be played, but no big team play items on the board. Just a lot of teams trading aggro. Hojin getting hit by a missile here as World getting a little bit of revenge on him.
Right, and we are seeing a lot of the water bombs being cycled out. Haven't seen any put to good use so far yet. That water bomb is going to miss Joker there in the front. He doesn't have a shield, but that EMP, it could have some use. Nope, he's just going to cycle through it here.
We got to keep in mind that Pharaoh's Pass, very similar to Magma Cavern, does have that one section where, you know, you're going through this wooded area, or not wooded, excuse me. You're going on like this bridge made of wood, is what I meant to say.
Yeah,
right
that's
before
wood.
the finish line. Yeah, I know, but it's not a wooded area. There aren't like trees around you, right? And that's an area where you really cannot avoid water balloons, just like Magma Cavern. So we'll see if either team tries to play into that a little bit here, as both teams, in fact, picking up a lightning bolt of their own. Hojin has one on his side, Spear as well, the lightning bolt. No angel shields as of yet.
Absolutely. Sungbin is holding on to double magnet right now, so he's not going to be concerned about dropping out of that first place contention. A lightning is going to be utilized pretty early here by Sensation.
An interesting choice by Team Sensation to go for a lightning this early, right at the start of lap number 3. I guess they really want to prioritize. They want to prioritize tempo here to slow down the Freaks in any way they can.
Absolutely, because Percent, they need to catch up. As you take a look at the first player on the side of Kwangdong Freeks, Sungbin is kind of just running away right now. He's got a shield in his pocket as well to dodge out any potential missiles.
Yeah, Guard does have a UFO, so we'll see if he can abduct Sungbin right
bad.
now. Yeah, it's not looking good. Lightning Bolt pops right there for KWANGDONG Freeks, so Sensation gets slowed down quite a bit, and Freaks seem to be in a very commanding position now. A UFO is going to abduct Cool, so that will slow him down a lot coming to the finish line, but not enough, as KDF just seem to have all the tools in their belt to come through with a win here in track number 2 and tie item mode up 1-1.
The amount of pressure that KWANGDONG Freeks was able to put on Sensation there, it's insane, because you rarely see these lightnings being forced out early on, and you can see Sensation, even though they utilized a lightning to catch up, they couldn't in the end. Hojin, he got clipped out by a water bomb, and it was really difficult to try to keep up with Sungbin, who was in the front, and then Cool with attack play coming in first in the end.
Yeah, Cool coming in clutch there for Team KWANGDONG Freeks. Sensation, it's an interesting choice to go for the lightning bolt there. At the very start of track number 3, I mean, I guess they had to do something to start to slow the roll of KWANGDONG Freeks, as they were really beginning to run away with that one. Did not work out in the end. The best of 7 now has whittled down into a best of 5. Both teams only 3 track wins away from securing a victory here in item mode.
Yeah, and it seems like we're having a tech pause on the side of Sensation. There may be some issue with Joker's monitor, so we are checking into that right now. The staffs are going to come in and make sure that everything's going to be okay.
Yeah, and luckily, you know, throughout most of Speed, after we had those few technical hiccups in track number 1 and track number 2, there weren't too many issues, so hopefully this issue for Joker will get resolved very quickly and we'll be able to continue on. But, you know, just reading a little bit of the body language here on Team Sensation, I'm concerned. You can see some frustration, a little bit of maybe anxiety here, even on the side of the veteran Hojin, as things just not really going their way today. They have a lot of tech issues and also a crushing 4-0 defeat in the best of 7 of Speed mode means that they're really feeling the pressure here in item mode. They have to win 3 more tracks just to stay alive and force an ace match.
I think the pressure is getting to the computer itself. Going against KWANGDONG Freeks, the computer's like, no, I can't handle it, dude. I can't play Kart Rider Drift against KWANGDONG Freeks.
The AI is coming to life.
But I love that high-five exchange there.
Yeah.
Hojin really just trying to cheer up the morale of his team. That's really crucial, I feel like, him coming in as a team captain there. And also to mention Hojin, he has previous experience as a coach in the Kart Rider League, so you can see that leadership really coming into effect right now.
We're actually receiving words from our producers that the admins have reached a decision. This affected the outcome of the game, as Joker was not able to see perhaps quite well on his monitor. He did have some issue over that game, so there will be a rematch for track number 2. So we're going to go back to Pharaoh's Pass with Sensation up 1-0, and that doesn't surprise me very much, as Joker was really quiet there on that track. He didn't seem to be making, you know, any plays at all, really, as I'd have to go back and look at the replay. Yeah, it's no surprise that the technical issues here for Sensation just affecting them a little bit. And you see Hojin, now that the decision has been reached and we will have a rematch, a little bit of the weight lifted off his shoulders as he's trying to lift the spirits of his teammates. As we're going to go back into Pharaoh's Pass here for track number 2. Team Sensation up 1-0 here in item mode. Let's get to it.
We are going back in for a rematch of item round 2 between Sensation and Guangdong Freaks. This time around, it's Sensation who is leading right now here in the item mode.
Yeah, Joker pulls back just a little bit there to pick up 2 items, but gets double nitrous, so he's just going to quickly rejoin everybody else. Actually picks up a 3rd nitrous there from another set of items. So Joker wouldn't be surprised to see him work his way all the way up to the first place. Yep, there he goes.
And compete with them nitruses
Look
in
at
the item
Hojin
mode.
and guard, by the way.
Yeah, a lot of angels. It's like we're in heaven.
It is like we're in heaven, Peter. I was struggling to put into words what it was like, but you're right. It is like we're in heaven with Guard and Hojin here in lap number 1, already picking up 3 Angel Shields. And so for Team Sensation now, this answers a lot of questions for them in terms of what their late game setup is going to be. Now, I would be surprised to see Guard or Hojin rotate out of those Angel Shields at all. Guard especially is going to want to hold on to the double. And so for Team Sensation now, if you're Joker or Percent, you're like, okay, we're going to be the racers that are going to try and set up with, a magnet and a nitrous or double nitrous or something to that effect. And they're going to be the players that are also going to try to maintain position here. Is actually a lightning bolt gets popped right there, attacking the Kwangdong Freaks very early. You could just see Sensation absolutely prioritizing the tempo here. And another surprising play is Team Sensation. They came out with one of the Angel Shields. They say we don't need 3 to deflect some of the aggro. They use one here in lap number 2, and then they pick up another Angel Shield. So they're back right up there at 3 again.
And then cool, he picks up another lightning as well, but it's going to be tough to break through 3 angels. So Guangdong Freaks, they're going to need to pick up a lot more offensive item utilization, like the water wisps that we are seeing coming onto the screen.
Yeah, so this is a very nice setup here for Team Sensation as Guard right now, he wants to be the lead racer as well as Hojin. Given all the Angel Shields that they have, if I'm not mistaken, Guard might have just cycled through when his Angels and Hojin got one.
Yep, there it is.
My
Guard,
goodness.
he just uses his Angel right there as well. There comes another Angel on the side of Sensation, buying them a lot of room here, and the Angel's gonna block out the lightning in the end, and a clean 1-2 finish for Sensation.
Yeah, my goodness, the shield for Team Sensation there was so powerful as Kwangdong Freaks, even with only 1 lightning, just unable to make anything happen against that. And also for Team Sensation, you got to give credit to, Guard right there with double Angel Shield leading the pack that whole time. He was taking up a lot of aggro as a racer who's really not getting set up to try and go for, like a nitrous and magnet finish. He's all about supporting the team right there with the Angels, but still able to emerge as the first racer to cross the finish line as Sensation goes up 2-0 here in item mode. Looking very strong. Now only 2 track wins away from forcing that ace match. You could see some of the pressure getting lifted from this team.
Absolutely, it's exactly as you put it, State. Sensation really needed this moment of relief. Being up 2-1 is definitely going to feel good, especially in a mode like item mode where Sensation put some priority on their tracks there. And if we do end up going to a round 7, which could be likely if Guangdong Freaks strikes back at this rate, it is a track choice by Sensation, so it's nice to have that little insurance in the end.
Yeah, and the fact that Team Sensation was able to win on the first map pick of the Freaks in item mode has to be a very big confidence booster, the same way it was for the Freaks there in speed mode.
Yeah, absolutely, and it seems like so far, Guangdong Freaks, they've lost a lot of that momentum they originally presented us with in the beginning of the day. But now, we are ready for our round number 4, held in Village Town Hall.
Here we go, track number 3 in item mode. I love the way you put it, held in the town hall. Now I'm just imagining all these gamers getting up and we're hosting the KDL right there in that nice, big, beautiful building.
Yeah, and my goodness, I thought we were on track number 4 already.
No,
I was
track 3,
tracking
track
the
3.
scores. But then I realized, wait a minute, we've had the rematches. We're still on round 3. So we got so much more item mode ahead of us.
Yeah, we do have a lot of item modes ahead of us right now. But, Sensation, although they are up 2-0, we might have 2 more tracks should they be able to keep this momentum up. And I say that, and I look there at the item inventory, and we're actually whirled over here on lap number 1, picking up double lightning, which is just a crazy pick. Now, Sensation Guard, he does have an Angel Shield in the bag, so There is some utility here for Sensation. There is some counterplay, but double lightning this early is just so good. Oh my goodness, they get another one right there on Spear.
Exactly. It feels like KWANGDONGFREECS, they're finally starting to get the lightnings that they haven't been getting at all. It's like all coming in one go.
Yeah, they've been blessed by the lightning gods here.
Lord Zeus, bless me.
Zeus is smiling brightly upon the Freaks as the first lightning is going to pop, and Sensation opting to use their only Angel Shield to try and deal with that one. As actually, I think I say that and then guard. I don't even know if this is the first Angel Shield, but he has another one right there in the bag. There is still some more counterplay here against World, holding on to two lightnings himself.
Yep, absolutely. World is just playing that role that you often like to refer to State as kind of like that member on the team that just doesn't cycle through their items, and they want to really focus more on team play rather than anything else.
And he's just playing support. You know, he's not gunning to cross the finish line first. He just wants to pop these double lightnings at the critical timing here for the Freaks. And so the fact that he was there in first place for a moment there for the Freaks and was able to absorb some of the aggro from Team Sensation is going to help the middle field of KWANGDONGFREECS a lot. And those are the racers that are getting set up to try and cross the finish line as another lightning comes out. Angel Shield's actually able to pop it, so KWANGDONGFREECS, they don't have any more lightnings in the bag. Hojin right now holding onto a shield and a magnet, but cool with a magnet and a nitrous. Very dangerous position. Oh, he gets attacked though.
Will the nitrous be enough for Cool here? No! Hojin!
Wow!
He comes in first for Sensation, and now Sensation has a humongous lead, 3-0 over KWANGDONGFREECS.
Yeah, and that was a phenomenal finish there for Hojin, and Cool, you know, he had the Wombo combo, he had the nitrous and the magnet right there, right behind Hojin in first place, but the attack came in from Sensation. They had just enough inventory left to dish out one more attack on the lead racer there for the Freaks, and I gotta say, if they weren't able to connect with Cool right there at the finish line, I think that's a KWANGDONGFREECS victory. So a very clutch play coming out of Team Sensation as they now go up 3-0 here in item mode. And this is not an outcome that I expected. I did not think that KWANGDONGFREECS were going to win speed mode 4-0. I did not think it would be over that quickly. I also did not expect Sensation to be up 3-0 in item mode after the first 3 tracks. I mean, both these teams are dominating their respective modes right now here. As Sensation, they only have to win 1 out of the next 4 tracks to be able to secure an ace match. And we'll see if they're able to do it, man. We're going to go to Factories Brody Gloom as truck number 4. Sensation so close to forcing that final map. After momentum swung so wildly in the favor of the KWANGDONGFREECS in speed mode, Sensation able to fight back with a vengeance here, Peter, in item mode. Now up 3-0. Should they win here on Brody's Gloom or any of the other remaining tracks, we're going to go to an ace match that will decide the fate of these teams.
I'm super excited for that right now, State. I would love to see the ace match, and I would also love to see Sensation close it out 4-0, so we kind of have like an even field where we can say both teams were clearly dominant in one item mode, or modes for that matter.
That would be really surprising, honestly. I mean, we might get that. Sensation already up 3-0 means that, you know, that's probably going to be in the cards here, although Sungbin and World are off to a fantastic start here, and World already has a lightning in the bag. I mean, you just got to give credit to the tenacity here for Team Sensation, despite what must have been a frustrating situation with all the PC technical issues that they experienced over the course of this series.
Yep.
On top of that, getting 4-0'd in speed mode against, you know, yes, KWANGDONGFREECS, they are one of the best speed mode teams in the world, but still, that's gotta hurt so bad.
Right.
It was a frustrating day for them, but to turn it around here in item mode and play as well as they have, I mean, they haven't been gifted this by any means. It's not like they're getting the best, luckiest item setups track after track after track. They're finding the way to make whatever they're dealt work.
Absolutely, as we see Joker, he utilizes a magnet to catch up to the front of the pack. Because Sungbin, he's absolutely running away right now with this lead that he's built himself. You can check where he's at on the right side of the camp. He has a phenomenal usage of shield there that's going to be able to give him that lead still.
Yeah, and with double shield too, now one of those does get popped. He's actually going to have to use a second one to deal with this water whisk coming out of Hojin. A lot of the aggro has been absorbed here by Sungbin, but the finish line only 500 meters away. You got to look to what the finish line is going to be. Now, there are Angel Shields on the board, but not a lot of attacks as magnets get popped here. Sungbin, the lead racer for KWANGDONGFREECS, getting slowed down. These magnets might be the ticket for Sensation to go to an ace match, and yes, indeed, Peter, with a phenomenal set in item mode. Sensation fights back after the Freaks win 4-0 in speed to sweep them back in item mode with a 4-0 set score, and we're going to be going to an ace match, Peter. What a thrilling series here in the lower bracket finals.
Absolutely. This is exactly what I wanted to see, State. It feels like at this point it's hard to see which team it was better today, because right now it's going to be all decided by that final ace match. As you said, in item and speed, both teams have shown their strengths, and honestly, this is the ace match that we were looking for. A player like Hojin representing Sensation, you can see the relief on his face here for being able to buy for that ace match.
Yeah, and for a veteran to be showing that emotion, for a veteran to be able to show that much emotion, I don't know why that was such a hard sentence for me to say. You can really see how much this means to Hojin right now on stage. I mean, it's been an incredible journey for him here in the KDL, coming as one of the most storied players, if not the most storied player of all time in the original Kartrider, to play the latest iteration of this game, bigger and better. He comes back in the KDL in Preseason 1. He's not looking to be the Hojin of old. He's looking weak, and a lot of the fans here, not just in Korea but around the world, are wondering, can Hojin ever really return to the form that he had back in Kartrider and now here in KDL Preseason 2, one of the top racers in team speed mode, here in the finals, or excuse me, the lower bracket finals today, looking very strong, not just in speed, but in item mode. I mean, yes, they did get 4-0'd in speed, but Hojin, every single track, he was battling for that rank 1 spot, vying his hardest, and also in item mode, the same story. He was always setting his team up for that victory.
Oh yeah, we absolutely love seeing that story of Hojin kind of continue here as the Emperor of Kartrider, but now also looking to be the Emperor of Kartrider Drift. And if he wants to get that title for himself, he really needs to get more career in his pocket in KDL.
And the track is going to be World Tour New York Rally for the ace match. One lapper, a very long one, very tricky one. One that can be hard to get the pass off on. So we'll see exactly how these players decide to take their lines as we're waiting to see what the selection is going to be from Team Sensation and Team KWANGDONGFREECS. And it's going to be World versus Hojin, a battle of the aces here in the lower bracket finals.
I love it, State. This is exactly what I would have expected to see from KWANGDONGFREECS, because World, he may have had a bit of a tough time with ace matches this season. He's lost one match against Ghost. He's won the other ace match against Summer, but in Preseason 1, he was undefeated, much like Jung. And I feel like absolutely KWANGDONGFREECS did choose their ace of the day today very wisely as we get ready to enter our ace match to decide it all in World Tour New York Rally.
A 1v1 here on the streets of New York. World versus Hojin will decide the fate of these two teams. The loser of this track, their team will be eliminated from the postseason here in the lower bracket finals as they are fighting for their tournament's life here in the KDL Preseason 2.
And Hojin, he's really tried there for a draft, but it seems like World, he did have a pretty good lead on the boost gauge. Up until Hojin, he was able to catch up now, so Hojin in a much more secure position.
Yeah, World a little bit ahead on that boost gauge, excuse me, is Hojin actually able to take the inner line there, is able to pass him. World looking to fight back right there, trying to find the inner. Hojin with a nice body block though, just zoning World out. We'll see if he's able to maintain it. No, in fact, World with a nice draft and boost, able to unseat Hojin from first place as we might have that lead continue to exchange hands here.
Yeah, and I love that Hojin, he was being creative there and took a completely different line from World. And it seems like, based on the boost gauges, Hojin, he may have a slight advantage here, and he's within draft range. Hojin, he's looking for that right now.
Wow, yeah, Hojin takes the draft right there and works his way up into first place there with a nice body block on World. And you can see Hojin right now, it's like he's looking through his rear view mirror, trying to find the best way to block World, as he's just zoning him out, coming into the latter portion of this track.
Yeah, absolutely, World. He does have a lot of catch-up to do. Hojin, he is looking to block every single angle coming out of World here. Now World, when he goes for the inner, Hojin, he's there as well.
Yeah, Hojin taking such a tight inner line. It is do or die right now. World is going to see if he can try and pass him, but Hojin just delays everywhere. But World, he finds a breakaway on the inner line. Now on the straightaway, will Hojin be able to find the draft? to pass World, or will the Freaks be booking their ticket? And it will be the Freaks emerging victorious here in the ace match as the Emperor is defeated in a 1v1 battle of the speed ace between both of these teams. And the Freaks, their dreams of a repeat tournament victory here in the KDL preseasons remain alive.
Man, that inner line from World was so good, and once that happened, you saw the distance being made by World. The gap was too big for Hojin to try to catch up. There was no chance for a draft there whatsoever.
Yeah, I mean, Hojin, he tried his best, and this was a valiant effort for Team Sensation, fighting back to force the ace match with a 4-0 item set after losing in speed mode in a crushing manner. And you can see the Freaks just very happy with this win. I mean, the pressure was on after Sensation stole all their momentum there in item mode. And the Emperor, while he may be defeated today, I guarantee you in the regular season, we will see him return bigger and better the same way we did from KDL Preseason 1 to Preseason 2.
Yeah, and you can see the trust that the members of Sensation really put in Hojin there. Despite the loss, they're really just trying to cheer him on because they know that Hojin has done so much for them here in Preseason 2. In fact, we might as well say that Hojin is one of the biggest reasons why Sensation was able to make it to the postseason here. And honestly, what a great run for Hojin.
Oh, absolutely. No question about him being one of the reasons why they're here. As we get a quick recap of the results, of course, 4-0 sweep in speed for the Freaks, and then a 4-0 sweep in item mode for Sensation, as we played the minimum amount of tracks, but we still went all the way to an ace match.
Yeah, it was very exciting to see our two teams battle it out. As you said, State, it was super close, neck and neck. Usually when we say that, it's because it went all the way down to a round of 5. Although we didn't go down to the round of 7 today, it feels so close in a different way.
Yeah, neither individual series really went the distance, and I was surprised by that because KWANGDONGFREECS and Sensation, both in speed and item mode, you know, I do give an edge to KWANGDONGFREECS in speed, I do give an edge to Sensation in item mode, but I never in a million years imagined that we would have a 4-0 in each of those game modes. I thought it would be a much closer series overall, but at the end of the day, Freaks with a 4-0 win in speed, Sensation with 4-0 in item. That's just the way it goes sometimes.
Absolutely, and now I feel a lot more hype to see World playing these ace matches because he beat Hojin, and I feel like that just adds more value to your win in ace matches. And KWANGDONGFREECS, honestly, they've been switching up their strats quite a bit here in Preseason 2. They weren't vying for just one member, constantly representing them in the ace matches. They went through a plethora of player changes. You know, we've seen Sungbin come out and Cool come out, but in the end, it's World who secures it for them.
Yeah, and I mean, both teams relying on their speed ace there in the 1v1 battle to keep their tournament dreams alive, and it will be the Freaks who emerge victorious and advance on to face the loser of the upper bracket finals later on in this tournament to decide whether or not they will make it to that grand final for a chance to repeat championships again. And I mean, World, he looks so strong there in the ace match. Freaks, they look so strong in speed, but they got to shore up that item mode.
Yeah, unfortunately, as you said, Sensation, they're going home off of this loss here because it was the lower bracket semifinals. And honestly, I feel like we just started our day, right? But we've already had so much Kart Rider Drift action, and I can't believe that there's such an exciting match still waiting for us here. Rocks versus Liv Sandbox. I can't even begin to put my finger on who's going to win that one, really.
Yeah, we're going to get into that final matchup after this short break, guys. Don't go anywhere. We'll see you in a minute.
Nobody stopping me. nobody stopping me. Ain't nobody stopping me.